So tonight I would like to do something slightly different. I would like to guide what is in the Tibetan tradition called analytical meditation. And in an analytical meditation you use reasonings and mental images to support certain insights or states of mind. For example, maybe some of you are familiar with meditations on compassion, where you use mental images and reasonings to facilitate an open heart. And in the Tibetan tradition, this kind of meditation or contemplation, you can call it, they are used quite a lot. And usually I don't do this on Tuesdays, but I thought just to give you, another tool or another possibility. And if you find out, this is actually something which supports me, then you can explore this further. And in the Tibetan tradition, there's different models of how these analytical meditations are put together. And one of these models is called the Lamrim, which Lamrim means the gradient path to enlightenment, and it is a model of meditation which has been put together by a Tibetan scholar and yogi called Lama Tsongkhapa in the 14th century. And it's like a manual of different analytical meditations, and they have a kind of logical structure to it. And the first two of these meditations of the Lamrim I would like to share with you tonight. And the first one is traditionally called the precious human rebirth. Meditating on the precious human rebirth. What that means is we start by cultivating a sense of I'm worth it. I have this amazing potential. I can use my life in a meaningful way. I have these resources. I have the Buddha nature, the potential for opening my heart, the potential for deep wisdom, but I also have. There's chairs over there. So this first meditation, contemplation I will invite you into can support you in a sense of appreciation and gratitude. Like really a gratefulness, an appreciation of life, an appreciation of the richness of this moment, and an appreciation of a lot of those things which we take for granted. Like in a way, if we are mindful of this moment, of the wonder of this moment, in a way you could say the only appropriate response is gratefulness. It's just such a mystery, such a wonder to be a human being. It's just a mystery, such a wonder to be aware in this moment. And it's such a mystery and wonder to have that potential of connecting with others by just looking around. Just, wow, there's kind people. And I'm also kind. So, what I just did, in a way, was an analytical meditation. So using reasoning and mental images to open something. So the second meditation, which is very much connected with that first insight, with that first reflection, is yes, I have this precious life, but I don't know how long I'm going to die. And of course, we all know that we are going to die, but is that something which really shapes the way we live our life, shapes the way we live today? So this meditation on the certainty of our death and the uncertainty of the time of death can bring a certain passion, a certain urgency into this moment, into your day. This might be my last day, so what is really important? What is really important? So the method of analytical meditation goes something like that. You use a reasoning, a mental image, and then you notice how this feels for you. So it's not like something which just happens on the mental level, on the intellectual level. What we want to trigger is a response, a feeling response. And it is that feeling response which will make change, which will kind of bring the thought, yes, I'm going to die, I know. It brings it into our guts, into our being. So if you do analytical meditation on your own, you use reasonings until you get a sense of, and then you drop the reasoning and you stay with that. In the example of the precious human, with this, like, wow. It's like, wow. Yeah. And then, because our mind is not stable, this wow kind of goes again. So then you go back to the reasoning, and you go to the next point, and then you come, wow. Yeah. So and when you start this kind of meditation in the beginning, this wow might not be very very much. So sometimes it's also an art to use meditation like that. So and then you do that for about 20 minutes. So like you go from one wow to the next wow, using the images, the reasonings, the metaphor which makes sense to you. So what you do in that way, that you actually change the neurons in your brain. You create new pathways in the brain, which you don't create by just thinking, okay, I'm going to die. This does not change anything. It's just like it comes and goes, and it does not leave any trace behind, much. Yeah? But if you connect with your body, if you connect with your emotions, then something changes. Yeah? And it becomes part of your life, it becomes part of the passion for life. So when we are going to do this now, maybe something else happens. Maybe you get upset with me because I'm talking too fast or too slow, or you think it's stupid to do this, or you think about something else. What is important when we use analytical meditation is to accept we are not machines. It's like you take a meditation and then this is supposed to happen. But it's more, you need to do it more playful, more light, with a curious mind. And then if something else happens, then wow, yeah. Then you are loyal to your experience. So otherwise, analytical meditation can become like really frustrating because you want to kind of force something. Like, gratitude is a good example. So now, very soon, I will lead a meditation on gratitude. And maybe what you notice it, yeah, I can see that, but I don't feel grateful. I just feel that my life sucks. So, and that is then your experience. And then you are loyal to that experience. Then that is what happens. Yeah, and then you don't feel like, oh, I'm not only I feel my life sucks, I also can't meditate. Yeah. I think that is important because I experience it, or I have experienced it myself, but also in others, that with this kind of meditations we might have very strong expectations. This is supposed to happen. And then we are not open to that, what is true for us in this moment. Yeah. So, and if your mind wanders to something else, then and you notice it, so then you have the option, like in breathing meditation, to just bring your mind back. This is what I want to do now. And if you don't want to do it, then you just let my words travel through the space of your mind like clouds in the sky, leaving no trace behind. So this is just an invitation. Okay. So let's play with this for about 15-20 minutes. And as always, we start by connecting with your body and with your breath, just to create some space and also a sense of a profound friendliness. The whole body breathing, the whole body alive. And shifting from being busy and running around, shifting to being here. And then we can appreciate how quickly it's possible for us to just slide into this openness and stillness, even if your mind is somewhat agitated. Without any effort, there is a presence. In which you can relax. throughout the analytical meditation, you stay connected with your body and your breath, returning to it when you notice that you go somewhere else in your mind. And we can start the analytical meditation right there, with the breath. I'm breathing, I'm alive. Really feeling the aliveness in your breath. And maybe you remember times when it was difficult for you to breathe. And the relief of just being able to breathe. And suddenly something ordinary like breathing becomes very precious. Notice how you take care of yourself with the breath. How you're being nurtured and kept alive. And everyone in this room is breathing. So it's also a place of meeting. Then we can extend that appreciation to our other senses. You can all hear me. I guess everyone here in this room can see. And we all walked up the stairs. And right now all senses are open. Then the state of your mind. Of course we have ups and downs and very difficult periods in our life. But right now our mind is workable. There's many people who couldn't even sit quietly here with us for a moment. So to appreciate the relative health of your mind. That there's space to do something with it. Then if you feel into your heart, you can notice that potential for kindness and warmth. You are able to love, to forgive, to be kind. How fortunate. So dancing with these sentences, just listening to the response in you. Opening to the richness of this moment and to the mystery. Sometimes just being alive is enough. Breathing, hearing, seeing, feeling. And then the next point is that we extend that appreciation, that gratitude to our resources. We all have to eat. So today we had enough to eat, and when we come home we can eat, and tomorrow we will know that there will be food for us. We all have a place to stay. So everyone here tonight knows where you're going to sleep. There's a bed waiting for you. Maybe the flat could be bigger or something is wrong, but just appreciating that you have a home. And then we all have some sort of income, even if we don't have a job. So our life is more than just fighting for survival. Here we also can add our relationships, the network we are embedded in, of family and friends, of neighbors, places like here. invite you to listen to your body. To feel that in your body. Feeling into how fortunate you are. Not denying what is difficult in your life. So we're not denying that. But feeling into how fortunate you are. Feeling into the kindness of other people in your life. Feeling into how it is to live in a country without war. And if your mind wanders, then just gently come back to the body, to the breath. And maybe there's some other examples or things coming up for you. Resources of your life, support of your life. And just bringing them lightly into your mind. It's almost like we are being showered by care and kindness every day. So then the next point we can explore is how fortunate we are that we have access to spiritual teachings, to tools of mind transformation. Right here, right now, but also in other places in your life. This is just so amazing. That we can access the wisdom teachings of this earth, all of them. Not only in the internet and through books and videos, but we can actually receive teachings from practitioners, and we can find other people who can support us in our practice. So if you kind of acknowledge the presence of spiritual, psychotherapeutic, psychological tools you have been practicing with and exploring. And these tools which are available to you make it possible for you to work with the most difficult places in your life. So just see in a playful way if you can connect with some joy about that. Maybe there's particular some teachers you are grateful about. So see if you can connect with some joy about having met these people who have dedicated their life to your freedom. So now for a few minutes I invite you to play with some of the points which spoke to you, some of the points which make really sense to you, and just play with it. See if you can keep them lightly and using them to trigger that sense of gratefulness, that sense of appreciation. The whole body breathing. in the science of happiness, for example, in positive psychology, where they look into what kind of attitudes are particularly helpful for a sense of well-being in our life. One of the most important, which is being shown in studies, is a sense of gratitude, a sense of gratefulness. And what we experience in when we practice the meditations is that that we can change our habits to look from a certain perspective into our life. So now we have meditated many years on what's wrong in our life. And this meditation has been so strong that it even seems to be reality. Like it seems like it is like that. So we have meditated so well on that we don't see it as a perspective. We see it as the truth. And it's very easy for us that our mind goes there because we have been repeating it again and again. So that's what analytical meditation is. So we are very good at that. We are very good meditators. It's just that we have been meditating on the wrong thing. And now it's since we have done that for many years. It's not like happening overnight. Suddenly, you can you see that, oh, that's really a habit. I have this habit to look in myself and in other people and in my life in general. I look what's wrong, what should be better. But that habit will continue for a while. But then if we kind of put some effort into this kind of contemplations, then we start to notice how it's that our way of looking at ourselves and others changes. So it's in our hands. So maybe that would be a daily practice, like for 5 minutes every day, to think about 3 things you're grateful about. Or, without making it something which increases a sense of, I should be grateful. How did it go?
Your favorite person over here.
Yeah.
I'm joking. Sorry, I'm such a monkey still. I must admit that what I got out of it was that it was that the visualization somehow, because of the words that guided us, and the word is gratefulness. Somehow I got this mental mindfuck or mental satori that one cannot really be grateful if there's unacknowledged ungratefulness. So first I have to accept my ungratefulness in order to transcend it. Otherwise I can push it further away, and there will be disgruntlement and suppressed dissatisfaction. So for me personally, to be very honest, maybe under different circumstances it could have worked. it was way too yogish and intervening for me. I preferred a much more tantric, much more crazy man's enlightenment school way, but that was just me.
Okay.
That was just the harsh truth. Hope you don't take it too hard.
No, I can give space to it. So any other?
I think it's amazing because you experience really the full gamut of feelings and emotions. So the main difference I have with mindfulness is in one you stop and observe, in this you create. Somehow you have your image and something like that.
So how did it work for you?
It really worked well. I already tried once, it was a Thursday evening. The only thing is sometimes is that feeling of I should be more grateful.
Yes.
Because I had images of many people are kind to me in my life, this moment, a few hours ago, but sometimes I feel I'm not grateful enough. These things.
Yes.
Or maybe my anxiety in this moment of I have a lot doesn't make me grateful enough. But it was really, thank you, because when you were talking about practitioners, I had in my mind my great psychologist, and I start crying. And that's a nice feeling.
Yeah, so I think this is a good, an important point, and I mentioned it, and it's also connected with what he said, that if we then notice how difficult it is, or that there's something in us which is not grateful, that we are responding with kindness, like taking care of that part of us, which can't connect with gratefulness. Yeah.
So this feeling of beating,
yes.
Not grateful enough.
Yeah.
To respond with
Yes.
kindness to that. So
Yes.
let it go.
Yeah. Yeah. There, I like this expression of being loyal to your experience. This is how I feel, and it's okay. Yeah.
I noticed something about when you said that we were all together in what we're doing. I suddenly felt my own ego very strong, and I thought, do I care about other people here? And why am I here? What do I want? Is it in reality not just because I want something for myself? I didn't get an answer to that. It certainly was a good question.
Yes. Yeah. Any other? Yes.
Well, I was inspired when you even given it some more time, because I actually do this every morning as the first thing when I wake up. I sit by my window and I say out loud all the things that I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's difficult for me to be really feel it.
Yeah.
So I was inspired to being loyal to the feeling.
Yeah.
And then maybe to sit a little bit longer to give it space to come more naturally.
Yeah. Are you doing the same every morning, or are you using different angles and?
No, I'm doing the same.
Yeah. I think sometimes it's good to to play and to be creative and use different aspects and different images and different sentences, because otherwise our mind goes like, it becomes like a routine, so on one hand, one extreme would be to do something else every day, But the other extreme is to do the same and same and same and same. Yeah. So that's. Did you get that practice from somewhere, like as an inspiration, or you came up with it yourself? Yeah.
In a way.
Yes. Yeah. What I found important in this kind of reflections and these meditations, that I stay connected with the body, to make it a body experience. Like, so always to start with being in the body and staying connected with the responses in the body. So also when I pray or when I say mantras or do other formal practices, and to practice with the whole body.
I have a similar practice I do as much as I can, and it varies a little bit because that's every night.
Yeah.
Asking myself what I was grateful for
Mm-hmm.
on this day.
Yeah.
That'll be very, very various sort of
Yeah.
topics.
Yeah.
That's sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't really work. I can see I'm grateful, but it's difficult to really feel it. That's why I really appreciate what you just did, this practice, because it's very easy to use your logics to see that I'm probably amongst the luckiest, or people on the planet, and sometimes I'm not even really satisfied still, which is weird. So, and I think especially when you go traveling, you'll live places where they are very poor, or they don't have food or water or whatever. And then when you come back, you can still feel it. Like, wow, there's fresh water in my tap, or so. But it takes not months, weeks, and then it's just gone. It loses its power. I still know, but I just can't feel it. So I think it's a very good practice. This.
Yeah. So I think it's. I can very much resonate what you say, and what I try is to be creative. To like, okay, how can I keep that aliveness in the practice? Yes.
I'm just wondering when it is most adequate to use that meditation, because I could feel I really like that meditation to have to shift your focus, but I can feel I have some pain in my nervous system which makes me tired and it takes my attention. So I feel more like doing the, what's it called, this other meditation where you take
Tonglen.
That's how I feel now. That would be adequate for me. So in that way it was a bit difficult. I felt now.
Yeah.
So
So in the Tibetan tradition, the approach is that you have that toolbox.
Yeah.
So you learn a toolbox, and then you use what kind of meditations support you in daily living.
To me.
And then but if you meditate together, then then I can't give each person a different tool.
No, to me maybe this one is good if there's not so much pain, if you don't have pain in the body, or it's more mental pain on the mental level, then I don't know. But you have to be intuitive, I think, to feel which tool is the right now.
Yeah, and the analytical meditations, you can also use them while walking. So you can go for a gratitude walk. Without making a big deal. I'm not, I don't want to blow up this practice into this. No, it's very simple, down to earth, ordinary. So you could also do walking meditation in your flat and use a meditation like this. And maybe start by, wow, I can walk. Yeah. So that's like, wow, yeah. So what else? And then in one way to work with these meditations in the Tibetan tradition is that you play with one topic for a certain period of time. Like with Lama Zopa Rinpoche, it was like he gave me these topics and said, okay, 6 months you meditate on this, 2 months on this, 3 months on this. So then, let's say we all would make now gratefulness our theme the next 2 months. Yeah. So then you would see if you can connect with this in a formal way, like 5-10 minutes every day, where you have like maybe even a sheet of paper with like some points. Yeah. But then also what you're then looking for is in your daily life for connections to that. Like you just so you connect with the meditation on how precious it is to have spiritual teachings in the moment when you go to YouTube and you watch a video or you open a book or you read a poem. Yeah? So it's like connecting with that theme throughout daily life. And then after 2-3 months you switch to the certainty of death. And then you meditate on that. So, and then in this way you go through the gradual path to enlightenment, to this structure. And then after 2 years, you went through it. You start from the beginning again. I'm not saying this is how you should do it, but sometimes it's interesting to know how it's being done in the tradition, and then we can find out, is there something useful for us in this? Yeah? Like to have different themes, different emphasis in our contemplative practice.
Does it need to be, I mean, like that you are grateful for certain things? It's just being grateful. Like I experienced, I was grateful, but at the same time there came the thought of a painful thing that is happening in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But I was grateful still. But I can't connect with being grateful with certain things. So it's like a more general feeling.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need. Does one need to go through like being grateful for being able to walk or?
No.
No,
of course not.
It can be general.
Yes. Yeah. There is an addition you could make to this gratefulness meditation, and that is what happens in the practice of Lojong, mind transformation, where you look at the challenges in your life in a way which connects you with gratefulness. And it's not like the gratefulness, like the joyful gratefulness, but that would be advanced. Sometimes we can have a sense of, it's actually those sharp edges of life which make me grow and make me. So I'm going to start to teach this on Thursday. So if you're interested in using your problems, then I'm going to start to teach what is called the Lojong, the mind transformation teachings in Tibetan Buddhism. So I almost added that in the end, but in this meditation. But and I thought no. But I guess we all have a sense that our problems have this potential, and that we have the capacity, at least sometimes, to look at the heart, at least when they are finished, at the hard periods of our life, when we look back at them, we see, wow, yeah, I wouldn't miss that. Yes, okay, let's have a break. And then death. So you can still think if you want to stay.
It's funny, Stephan, because all day I've been kind of exuberant